Hey guys, got a review for you all on the Kershaw Vapor. This knife is actually really nice. I gotta say, I'm very impressed with this knife. Everything I've seen on this knife has been relatively negative. I don't know where it's coming from, to be honest. First thing to consider when you're talking about this knife here is the price point. You can get this knife for about 15 bucks. If you look on the secondary market, you look on eBay, you can probably find it for closer to 10, which I think is an amazing value. The problem is, like, everything I see, all the press and all the talk about this knife has been negative, and I actually don't know where it's coming from. So some specs on the knife. The Kershaw Vapor has AUS-6 steel, a 3-inch blade, and it's 4 inches closed, so that makes it 7 inches total. And what else? And the lock is a frame lock, and the handles are 410 stainless steel. So let's start with the blade. Actually, when you open up the blade here, you can see this blade shape here. I actually really like it. It's not as pretty as some other blade shapes, but it's very functional. And you know, if you're going for this knife, this is definitely a great beater EDC knife. I mean, this thing you can just beat up to no end. It's very cheap, and I think it'll actually hold up. It's actually very well made for the price. So the 3-inch blade I think is great for EDC. EDC, you know, 3-inch blades. Here's a Bradley Elias 2 and a delicate G10. I mean, I like this size. So it's a great size for EDC. If you don't like the size, you can actually go into the Vapor 2. The larger Vapor, I think that has a 3.5-inch blade. The blade is actually flat ground, I think. You know, when you're going to this low price point, you can't expect the crispest of grinds, and you can see here it's kind of like wishy-washy. You can't tell how thin it gets toward the edge. I mean, if you can see right here, that's the grind line, and like it's not very easy to see because it's not very distinct. I mean, maybe after bead blasting it's harder to see, but that's just how it ends up. Despite the kind of wishy-washy grind, it seems to be relatively even, and it seems to get to a decently thin enough edge. If it doesn't get too thin enough edge for you, if you can spend like 15-20 minutes reprofiling out of the box, you can definitely bring that relief edge back. I bought this secondhand, and the previous owner did a very good job of bringing the relief edge back. So it's much longer or broader than, you know, most knives I have the relief edge, but that brings it to a very thin point. And you know, not that AUS-6 is any kind of super steel, but this one is actually razor sharp, and you know, it's soft enough that I can easily sharpen it up again. So I mean, actually for the price, AUS-6 is great. Kershaw does a good heat treat. I've heard it's comparable to, you know, 420HC and steels like that. So I think Kershaw's been doing a good job with their heat treats. Lockup is actually really nice on this knife. Stainless steel frame lock, and there's no play at all, up and down. Left and right, there's a hair, just a hair. But I rarely see knives where I don't have side-to-side blade play, and I could actually probably fix it if I, you know, wrenched down the pivot pin. But I like my knives a little smoother. I don't really care about side-to-side play. So lockup is very good in that department. Very easy to disengage. The stainless steel frame lock is of decent thickness. It's not as thick as, you know, my Bradley here, whose titanium is, you know, definitely quite a bit thicker. But you know, I think it's thicker than your average aligner lock. So it's actually pretty strong, actually. I don't doubt this knife. In terms of strength, to be honest, I think it's actually a very well made knife for the price. You got some jimping on the liner here, very easy to disengage a knife. Thumb stud here is very nice, actually. I've heard people saying that when they get it new, it's kind of rough and hard to open. But the thing is, I bought this secondhand, and when I did get it, it was rough. I will admit that, but after just dropping a drop of rim oil into the pivot, some of this stuff, it loosened up considerably after I cycled it a few times and just opened and closed it like that, and it got very, very smooth. So it opens very, very fast. I think it has Teflon washers. Don't quote me on that, but the Teflon washers are actually very smooth. If you've ever had any CRKT knives, they always use a lot of Teflon washers, and I find that they're often as smooth as phosphor bronze. They may not be as fast, but they are smooth, if you understand what I mean. You don't really feel the friction, but it's just not as fast coming out. But this knife, I mean, as you saw before, I can just flick it out very easily. The ergonomics of the knife are actually really, really nice as well. I mean, this knife has just blown me away for the price. All the corners are very nice and rounded, and I really can't see any blemishes or anything. I think they took advantage of the bead blast to help hide, minor blemish issues. But it's very comfortable in the hand. I mean, this just conforms to your hand, really. The jimping up here is decently functional. Not the best, but it's actually better than a lot of other knives that I've seen. You got a little jimping on the back. I think this is more aesthetic than anything, but I guess you could hold this knife in the reverse grip, but it's definitely a lot less comfortable in the reverse grip. The knife weighs a total of 3 1/4 ounces. 3 1/4? Yeah, 3 1/4 ounces. And I think that's a little heavy. But I do carry heavier knives on a consistent basis, so I've never really been a weight one to care too much about weight, and so the weight of this knife is actually not too much of a bother. And you can see they went to the effort to improve the aesthetics of the knife using these holes, but also to lighten it up. I think it drops at least about ½ ounce, and that just helps for the carry weight, and I don't see it making the knife any weaker at all. You got a nice clip here. It's easy enough to get on the pocket, and you can see it's not very obtrusive off the knife. It doesn't come off very far, so that's pretty good. You can see there's how much of it sticks out of your pocket, and I don't know if you can tell that's a knife or not, especially if you have an untrained eye. So I'm not gonna say there's anything wrong with that. You can't switch it to any of the other sides or tip up, so that's a bad thing, but for the price, I mean, what do you really expect? What else? Anyway, the bead blast. After you use this knife a lot, the bead blast actually will start coming off, and I think it personally looks actually quite ugly after it starts coming off. I don't know if you can see here, there's sort of silver scratches, and you can tell there's places where the bead blast sort of just rubs away. And it makes this text very dull and not very crisp, but as a working knife, the bead blast is relatively practical, and it gives the knife a sort of nice matte finish, so it actually adds a little bit of grip. This is a very affordable knife, actually. I think you can find these secondhand on eBay for about $10, and I'm amazed that Kershaw can pump out the knives at this price. This is a Chinese-made knife. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I don't really mind that because they're offering us excellent value for the money. And if you're looking for a nice beater EDC knife, if you're looking for something that will hold up to a lot of abuse, and if you're looking for something just with a good fit and finish, I mean, this is a great choice. I'm going to be honest. This is a great choice. And I can't say enough good about this knife, especially for the price. I just keep saying that over and over again. One complaint I do have is the bead blast actually causes the knife to rust a lot. Kershaw's have been known to be rust prone in comparison to other brands per se. But you can see here there's actually a little bit of staining right behind the thumb stud. I don't know if you can see that. right here about. And so the knife will stain, but if you take care of it, it should be fine. I don't think 410 or AUS6 are particularly rust prone, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. Anyways, that's my review of the Kershaw Vapor. If you want to get a new knife, spend a couple bucks on a new knife. If you like the aesthetics, definitely pick it up. I'm not a huge fan of the aesthetics, but for what you're actually getting in this knife, I think it's a phenomenal buy. Definitely try this one out. I think it's worth every cent. Thanks guys for watching. I got a review on another Kershaw coming out soon. I'll catch you then. See you guys. Bye.